Walt Disney had a gift for finding talented people and bringing out the best in them. I know he saw something in me that I might not have seen in myself. He certainly saw that something in Julie Andrews. He inspired each member of the cast and crew to a level of excellence that can be seen in every frame of that film. And did we have fun making it?
We were considering a number of people to play the part of Mary Poppins. We had Mary Martin, and we were thinking of Betty Davis, and then we were also thinking of Angela Lansbury. But it wasn't until one evening when the Ed Sullivan Show had an excerpt from Camelot, and a young woman named Julie Andrews and Richard Burton sang "What Do the Simple Folk Do?" And I called my brother. I said, "Bob, oh my God, she's absolutely perfect." Next day we walked into DeGratti's office, and Don DeGratti says, "Did you see the Ed Sullivan Show last night?" I mean, it was just wow. So we walked down the hall, the three of us, we want to see Walt.
How did you pick Julie for the part?
Well, I went to New York and I caught the performance of Camelot. And then I went backstage and I tried to convince her I was capable of making a picture with live actors as well as cartoons. I didn't know what she thought of me and everything.
He was very funny, had a lovely sense of humor, and he was very demonstrative. He started acting out the whole of the script of Mary Poppins right there in that small little room. And I was married to Tony Walton, and after he'd said that he'd enjoyed the show and would I like to come to Los Angeles to see the storyboarding and hear the songs, and Walt turned to Tony and he said, "And what do you do, young man?" And Tony explained that he was a designer of sets and costumes, and he said, "Well, bring your portfolio with you."
At the time, it was still just on the cards that Julie might do the film version of My Fair Lady.
That's the film she wants to make, My Fair Lady. The role, Eliza Doolittle, that she had played in London and on Broadway to great critical acclaim. The fact of the matter is that Julie Andrews was not a big name, not in terms of cinema, and Jack Warner thought it was a risky business, so he chose the beautiful Audrey Hepburn.
The press had made such a big deal out of it, and although I knew why I didn't do My Fair Lady, and sure, I was, sad about it, but I completely understood why I wasn't chosen to do it. Audrey did such a beautiful job, and she later became such a great, great friend.
And so Julie did Mary Poppins because they both were filmed at the same time. It was like fate.
She was Mary Poppins.
P.L. Travers had approval pretty much of everything in her contract, so Walt said that Julie would need to be auditioned or passed by the author of the stories.
I met her very briefly in London. She, I think, was fond of me and approved of my doing Poppins. I know she said that I had the nose for it.
As I expected, Mary Poppins practically perfect in every way.
She was quite happy with Julie Andrews, though. She was more than happy. She loved her performance.
Room for everyone, gather around. The constable is responsible. Now how does that sound?
Walt Disney was reading in a newspaper an article about what people thought about the cinema today, and he came across a comment by Dick Van Dyke which said that he personally did not like the way in which modern-day movies were trending towards, as he put it, dirty pictures. Now, this was something that Walt himself felt very, very strongly about, and he thought, oh, this man's a man after my own heart. So he had a look at some of Dick's work, and he asked Dick to come over to the studio. They met. Instantly, they liked one another, and almost instantly, Walt was offering him the part to play Bert.
Can't put me finger on what lies in store. I feel what's to happen. All happened before.
There was a lot of Bert in me and a lot of me in Bert, I'm afraid, because I never grew up personally.
We'd both seen Dick in Bye Bye Birdie, and of course had been religious viewers of his TV series, so that was very exciting.
Jim Jiminy, Jim Jiminy, Jim Jim Chiroo. I does what I likes, and I likes what I do.
I was trying my best to do a Cockney, and sometimes I notice in the film I almost get it. In other scenes, it isn't there at all.
I know the very person you mean. Mary Poppins.
There was a British magazine that came out last fall which named me as one of the top 20 worst dialecticians in the history of movies.
A spoonful of sugar goes a long, long way.
It certainly had its own particular charm.
Well, I have to be moving along. The Lord Mayor's got a stopped-up chimney.
Chimney.
But it's amazing how the British forgave me for my bad accent.
Dick, of course, was just outrageous. My first impression of him was, wow, I get to do this for 9 months? This is awesome.
Chim, chimney, chim, chimney, chim, chim, chiree.
He was just the funniest, silliest, pratfall guy, falling over all the time, always pretending he was injured, and just having Matthew and I in hysterics. He was so much fun.
I had only been in one movie myself, so I was about as green as anything. And Julie, despite the fact it was her first film, was perfectly professional. She had a camera personality. She knew where the camera was. She knew where the lights were, as if she had done it all her life. She was thoroughly professional from the beginning.
Karen Detrice and Matthew Garber, who played Jane and Michael, the children in Mary Poppins, had already made an earlier film of Walt Disney's called The 3 Lives of Thomasina. These two charming, delightful young people provided a wonderful centre for the film.
I think the one thing that comes off with Disney movies of the old days, and especially Walt himself, was his love of innocence. And I think that's what Walt revered in We Children, and that's what he wanted to send us away with still. And he succeeded. After Mary Poppins and after the No Mobiles, Matthew and I had made the 3 films together. And we really didn't stay in touch. I remember his mum, Margot, calling to let us know that Matthew had died. That was so unexpected and very sad. And then, of course, with anybody's death comes regret and sorrow. I wished I had picked up the phone over the years. I wished I had treated him more like a brother. But he's indelibly printed in all of our minds. He's eternal from those pictures, and Mary Poppins especially. And what a cute little boy. An amazing little soul.